Yo, what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, we are going to be giving you the Day 6 Final Zone recap for how 6009 through 6024 KvK groups have been going. Now, remember, these are Season of Strife in the Rise of the Dragon KvK storyline Kingdom Pool, and these are the groups that we're going to be taking a look at here. Starting with 6009, as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us a. So let's see who's winning, who's losing, and just kind of where everyone is at the moment. In 6009, this was the BDO Echo versus RAC, WAO, ROGGG. Now, at the moment, it is pretty much a W for RAC, WAO, ROG, and GG. Echo has been pushed out on the west side over here of the FZ. Now, currently, they have one tower that's being destroyed, I believe, by WAO. And then they're, I think, trying to finish this tower. Maybe will eventually work their way over there. And then you have the second shell for Echo, but no one's really pushing that at the moment. And then there's also a third shell here that kind of borders, I think this is RAC. But then BDO isn't pushed all the way back out. And I remember, I believe this was around where they were 4 days ago. So I don't know how much fighting BDO has still been doing. It seems like Echo has been doing a little bit more fighting, or however much more, just generally more fighting, because they're still in the final zone. So I have to imagine, and they still have cities too as well. If you zoom in, you can see they have a lot of cities around this area. So to me, that kind of indicates, we're still looking to fight. Okay, moving on to 6010. I swear I got good sleep last night. Okay, here for this group, we have WB, TFS, SSG versus EIL, N2S, NTS, and A2G. Now, this is pretty much stalemating, but it's stalemating so far in what I would argue the best of ways. Even though there's no action over here on the passes, at least at the moment, you could see that TFS, SSG, WB have been able to push over here into this kind of island extension, if you will, this corner east of the tree, where you have some of the bridge chokes. And you could see that there is some consistent fighting. I think TFS, or whoever this is, they're getting a flag down right now. As you see over here, SSG is there across NTS. And then I believe they were doing some fighting over here too. Okay, it looks like A2G, but they were just fighting each other. So it looks like people are just trying to fill the gaps and spaces right now with territory, but they're still ongoing, which I think is pretty dope, because 6 days in, 6010 is still seeing consistent action. I've said this before, but I'm really excited about what 6010 is doing, because this gives me that feeling that I once had when I was able to watch TFS vs. Nawar on that epic Bellerin Season 2 map, where we were able to see 2.5-ish weeks of hardcore fighting in the final zone. And I would argue this is probably the first KvK group in a while that has seen this duration of sustained PvP so far in a long time. And the fact we're like, it's pretty even with the matchup, everyone feels like they can win, and because of that, everyone feels invested. And that's the exciting part. This is one of the things that you've heard me talk about for many KvK seasons now, is that you have to kind of get into a state of where, and like how 6010 is playing things out, and at the same time, everyone has to be willing to go at each other, in part because they feel like each one can win, or each side can win. And that in and of itself can generate a lot of psychological motivation to participate and engage. So yeah, man, 6010, keep putting on a good clinic, man. I hope it lasts longer, but I feel like they've already set a really good expectation and standard, especially for the new season. Getting to 6011. This is EDS SVKOD versus Zoo BNR KOV. For here, we had Zoo, BNR, KOV. They're on the south side. Other group is on north. So this is a similar 6010 situation. Nobody's really pushing the passes. We get to the east side, and it looks like they're kind of in this situation where they're still fighting, but they haven't, the south side hasn't pushed over here onto like the south of this island tip as 6010 has been able to do, at least for their south team. But they're still going at it. And I feel like, listen, as long as you're still fighting and you're 6 days in, I mean, that seems like a W to me. 60-12. Here, this was supposed to be Luno HWG versus IR 25IW 00 and 33. Now, we know that Luno and HWG have been pushed out, so it's pretty much a W for the other side at the moment. I believe they were doing some fighting over here where we saw them last, so maybe it looks like maybe some action, maybe no action. Okay, so like slight-ish. And then I think Luno was over here, and oh, interesting. Okay. So I don't know. Are they trying to push their way back? I'm not sure. But I mean, they've built a little bit up. So maybe they're just not. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they're not. Who knows? I mean, they're a little bit closer. But I mean, I would argue, at least at the moment, based on territory, it looks like the season W is playing out on the other team's favor, right? Being that of IR 25IW 00 and 33. Now let's go to 60-13. So we're going to try and run through these lickety split if we can. Here we had MFD, DBB, SWAD, Laws, CMAR, UHA. When we look at the FZ, you can see here that we got MFD, SW, and DBB, right? So they're all around this, pretty much Dunsky. I believe this was the KvK that UHE or someone like might have snuck and like took the first kill on Dragon or something. I think that somebody might have said. I'm not sure if that's exactly this one. I think it might be. But then on the other side, right, Laws, CMAR, UHA. You could see UHA group is over here. Let me see. CMAR is up here. And then I'll have to see again where Laws was, because now I feel like I could be missing-ish. There we go. So they're right here. And then that's UHA. So, okay. So I see. So they're basically still at the choke. Ooh, wow. Are they getting... So MFD is actually working on that right now. There's another choke over here, but nothing happening. So they're kind of here. I guess this is them, right? A little bit here on the southwestern side. They're still in the FZ. Haven't really got heavily pushed out at the moment. Oh, look at that, dude. UHE working on that STB. So, I mean, listen, 6 days in, they're still going at it. I can't be mad at that, man. I mean, again, obviously the MFD, DBB, SW side has a little bit more territory advantage. They have Dragon. Season's not over yet, but they're still fighting it out. 6 days in, I'm happy to see that it just wasn't a train wreck where one side plowed through the other and was able to push them all out of the FZ. So to me, that's exciting to see. Like, I want to see more of that. Then we get to 60-14. Here in this group, this is OAH, BXS, NWE versus Dawn, LTS, AC. Remember, OAH did get locked out of Zone 3. Not sure if they've had a chance to make it back in yet. So here, with BXS and NWE, let me see here. So we got BXS here, NWE they've pushed over here. Looks like AC maybe getting worked out a bit. NWE is over here. BXS, who's this? NWE, NW, OAH. Oh, so they were. So OAH was able to make it back in. Look at that. So I wonder if this is a little bit... Wow, so they've basically taken over at this point. I mean, you got AC over there. And then wherever LTS Dawn. Huh. Let's see. TBS... Okay, so it doesn't look like they're pushing anything over there. So DC, okay, it doesn't look like they're going for the Spire. So, okay, oh, here we go. But yeah, but I think we just saw this, right, where they were doing a little bit of some PvP. So again, advantage at the moment, looking like OAH, BXS, NWU might, again, take this one away for a W. But it looks like still some lingering action from Dawn, LTS, and AC. Let's go to 60-15. 60-15 for this matchup. It's BBEIA, ANCS versus LAW, TG, and IW. It looks like we could see here at the moment that it looks like IW, TG, and LAW have taken control of Dragon. Now looking at BBEIA, ANCS, I believe they were down here at the choke, similar to one of the previous KvK groups we saw that had got pushed there. Over here is ANSI. I think we had EIA. Yep. And then we had BB. So it looks like kind of Southwest versus the others. Looks like they're still kind of hanging on at the choke. And I believe there's another choke up here too as well through this bridge pass or mountain pass. But yeah, advantage at the moment is going in favor of LAWTG So we'll see, right? I mean, again, those three other kingdoms are still there, even if, again, they're not applying any pressure right now. That could be for any number of reasons, but it looks like they're still hanging on. And the fact that they are, as we stated, 6 days in, again, I kind of take that as a win for the KvK as a whole, but we'll have to see how the merit numbers look like at the end of the season, or at least once all the fighting in all the KvK groups has finished, to see how much PvP really did happen in the season, to kind of give us an indicator on what were some of the reasonings, how were they able to get that much, because that's what you want to try to emulate going forward as well in future KvK groups. As we get to 60-16, this matchup here is DYH, MBH, now, right? And then also X and Kong, and they're going up against UDF and ASC. It looks like for the moment, let me see where UDF, ASC, if they're still in. So UNR, it looks like MBH, Ham, DYH. Yep, there. Okay, yeah. So it looks like they've been pushed out. It looks like UDF and ASC have been pushed out completely. It looks like from what I can see. Yeah, right. Unless I'm not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs here. With that in mind, again, we know that there's some stuff that's happened in 60-16. As most of you know, I am and will be covering the situation. I can tell you, at least as of this video, I have officially heard back from all of the Six Kingdoms management teams. I have been given access to the Four Kingdom Diplomacy Discord server, where permission was given to me to read through any of that. And I think I'm about a quarter or a third of the way through it at the moment. So there's a chance that as early as tomorrow, that video might be coming out. I know we kind of did a preview video of going over what the situation was at its kind of top end, if you will. And this next video will be actually hearing testimonial, POVs from each of the kingdoms, along with usually screenshots being shared, and then me kind of giving you my final thoughts on it. So that'll be an exciting one to cover. But yeah, this one is pretty much over for 60-16, at least based on how it looks visually. 60-17. As we work over, this is KM Noob Rod versus IFAP ERA BPT. Now, in this matchup, I believe this is pretty much done. Right, we know that IFAP, ERA, BPT. However, I think someone told me that something happened here between ERA and IFAP that went down in 60-17, where now it's like them against each other. So I don't know if it's ERA joined Noob, KM, Rod. And some people told me, I have not had enough time to look into it, but I believe something to that effect is what happened. Obviously now it looks like there's BP IFAPs over here, and then FAPs over here too as well. So I guess that's kind of the indicator that we could probably assume, given that it's now kind of a west versus east approach. But listen, they're still going at it 6 days in. You got to at least be happy to get some more PvP out of it. But again, we'll see, because I am planning to cover that KvK as well. It's just a lot's been going into the 60-16 to try and reach out to everyone. It's a lot of work when you got to reach out to everyone, along with getting a bunch of DMs. Sometimes people write a lot. And so you got to, I read everything that anyone sends me. And even going through that their coalition or union Discord, man, like there's a lot of stuff to read through. So again, trying to be as diligent as I can on that until we get to some of the next stories, which I'd love to. Okay, next we got 60-18. This is GPX Seal versus K211 and SHPZ. I know there was Gen and IME that I wasn't sure as far as kind of like what sides they were on when we looked at this last time. But now we could see GPX Seal, SHP. So it's kind of a similar situation here, it looks like, where they're kind of blocking themselves off at these. Ooh, some pressure being applied here, looks like, on CO from 211. Okay. And then what about the two passes down here? Okay, so kind of deadlocked still at the moment, kind of southwest versus northeast approach. Again, 6 days in, if they're still going at it, can't be mad at it, man. Trying to get as much PvP as you guys can out of that KvK until end of season. Now let's get to 1619. In this group, we had Chubb, Sura versus GD, K95, and Elves. Remember, Beck had got locked out of Zone 3. I'm not sure if they've been able to make it back in yet. We'll take a look. I think so because I see Vec here now. So it looks like I see Sura, Chubb, which we knew was one side. It looks like Vec is over here. Oh, so maybe it's done at this point, right? Because they have it. Doesn't look like they're attacking. So maybe it was Chubb, Sura, Beck, possibly. Because they were fighting against Elf in Chi Lin, which was the cross Zone 3. So maybe that's true. Maybe they were with them at that point. If that's the case, it looks like that's where the W is, because I don't see GD. K95 was up here, and then there's GD and Elves. Let's see where they were at. So, Elves is over there. Vet came in, HB, K95. I don't know where GD. Oh, so they're over here. So it looks like they've been pushed back as well. Yeah, Kasura's on the other side for them. So yeah, it looks like at the moment, then in this case, that it is, again, seems to be decisive-ish, given Dragons have been capped. Sura's there. So it looks like that's going to be the Chubb Sura BEK or /VEK W. Again, even though their opponents are still in territory. But we'll see if anything comes of it. Let's go to 6020 now. Here in this group, this is SN, AXT, O5DK versus Block, SG97, and SPA. Now, we know from how everything looks that SPA, SG97, Block are taking the W here. SN, AXT, and O5DK, I believe, have been pushed back. You can see that here as well. From some of their territory getting pushed back. SR97, it looks like maybe, but maybe they're trying to go for this disconnect if that's the case. Okay, yeah, looks like maybe, or maybe they're going to try and cap the pass. So yeah, that looks at least how things are playing out right now with that in their favor. And then SN and AXT, I'm not sure where they were. Let's see. So SN, AXT, SG, SPA. Okay, I think that's it. Again, there might have been some Kingdom or Alliance name changes, but this looks to be a pretty clear victory going for Block, SG97, and SPA in their favor with how things look. Let's get to 6021. We got 4 more groups to look at. This one is going to be LN2V, BD20, LPG versus DAU, PX, and AMZ. Now, with how everything looks, I think it's pretty clear. This is going to be a BD 20 LPG and LN2V W with based on territory. We have, it looks like AMZ is over here. I don't know if they're getting pushed at the moment, so they're not. So AMZ is there. PX, it looks like, has been, okay, so maybe not pushed all the way. Maybe they're trying to come back. Okay, look, so they're trying. Is this them building? Okay, so that's them building. So again, there's still action. Close. So you got PX, AMZ. I don't know where DAU is. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is this them over here? Okay, it is. So maybe they're pushing back a little bit now. What's going on? Okay. So maybe. I mean, they're still in the hunt, a little far away, but there's still action going on. Again, 6 days in for a group that's at 55 bill before Zone 2 started. I mean, that's really good, I think. So, I mean, they have to be happy that they're still seeing action. 6022, this was GF Riven 1-Up versus Ice Goa ST. And then I believe it was Goa, Riven, and 1-Up in the FZ, but it's pretty much Riven and 1-Up that have kind of taken the W here. Goa has, it looks like, been pushed back, but it doesn't look like anyone's kind of taken advantage. Like, it doesn't look like their opponents. Oh, never mind. So they are actually building right now to maybe get this disconnect off. Okay. But pretty much it looks like Riven and 1-Up have solidified the W there in 6022, unless something miraculous happens, I would imagine. As we get to 6023, here for the next. This is going to be ASG VH LOC versus IBO Ham HTF. Now we know Ham HTF IBO pretty much took the FZ here, at least Dragon Island in a round. As we look to ASG VH and LOC, so maybe there's still some action going on here a little bit. Okay, so never mind. It's either that or just a bunch of merit farming. Okay, never mind. It's merit farming now. Again, LOC, and it looks like their opponents are merit farming. All right, solid. So They're going, where's VH and ASG? If we can find them. VH, let's see, VH, ASG. Nope, unless maybe they did a name change. So VH is over here. Doesn't look like they're getting pushed back. ASG not in there. So again, with how it looks, I have to imagine that HTF, Ham, and IBA are going to get the W this season, given territory and that there's not too much fighting, unless something, as always, miraculous happens. As we get to 60-24, this is the last group. This is SNIX, Kurs, plus Kurs, same kingdom, SIP, 262 versus Go, SHWA, GRZ, PNG. Now, we can see here that 262, SNIP, SIP, Kurs, and SNIX have pretty much taken over Dragon at the moment, which leaves Go, SHWA, GRZ, and PG left. Now, I don't know if they've been pushed out completely. Let's see. So SHWA, this is one, but no action really. PNG doesn't look like any hard action, so they're just kind of hanging out at the moment. We got GRZ at the bottom over here, but it doesn't look like they have pushed out to any degree currently. And then these are going to be the people on the other team. Yeah. So it looks like pretty, again, not completely definitive as far as being pushed out all the way out of the FZ, but this seems to be pretty clear unless they're going to end up having some kind of like big resistance counterattack that's going to end up happening. It looks like advantage at the moment is going to go towards 262, SIP, Kurs, and SNIX for most likely getting the W this season. And that pretty much breaks down all we got for you guys today, man. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below on any matchups you were surprised on, any wins or losses you were surprised on. The fact that some of the KvK groups are still fighting 6 days in, and it looks like going to be going into a week, maybe beyond. That has to be exciting. And yeah, that's going to do it for us. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.